Hello everyone. I would like to take this moment to tell you about a deaf event that I attended here for my ASL class. It took a little planning and a little trying to find an event that would fit into mine and my partner's schedule, but eventually we were able to find one. And my Skype partner, Madi, and I attended the Royal Pizza ASL night in Rancho Cucamonga. It had started out in a Starbucks coffee shop, but happily able to announce that their nights have grown so big that they had to recently move it to this pizza place, which was really nice because they were able to section off some tables for us when we got there. Well, I talked to a lot of people there. I met Karen and Lynn and Kate. And I think Karen was the only one that was really, truly deaf. Kate said that she was hard of hearing, and Lynn was actually a volunteer there. I'm not for sure she was actually a volunteer at some other facility, or she was a volunteer to help with this deaf ASL group. And then there was also a class there from Chafee that night that actually, I guess, is part of the curriculum where they go there and they come to pizza night and they talk and they have the whole experience as far as deaf culture. It was really great because we got there before the class got there, so we were able to have like maybe about an hour one-to-one with Kate and Karen, and then shortly after Lynn and another completely deaf guy, Jeff, joined us. So some of the new signs that I learned was some names. Kate's sign name was a K from the K to the chest. And then Lynn's sign was like an L and a Y on the chest, and then you twinkle the fingers like that. And so I had asked for I wanted my own name sign, of course. So Karen, she gave me my name sign, which was CC, so like two C's, because my name's Cecilia, so CC. And then my friend Madi, she was kind of sitting across from from Kate, and so she said, well, I want a name sign, and then Kate said, well, she couldn't give it because she wasn't deaf, so she was just hard of hearing. So Madi never really did get a name sign, but I was fortunate enough to be able to get a name sign. What I learned from them was quite a few things as we were trying to talk through our experiences. It was kind of fun, but I found myself having a really hard time keeping up because my mind, because I could pick up a lot of the words that they were signing, but when I was trying to interpret the signs to what I wanted to convey, I think that's where the tough part came. So I was able to actually understand what they were saying, but as far as trying to communicate for myself, that was really the difficult part. But they did tell me, like I was talking about one more instead of going one more. She said, just go one more, like that. And then I was talking about my daughter-in-law who's going to have a baby, and we were talking about how far along she was, and I was like, well, she's 8, weeks. And she said, no, you do this, 8 weeks, like that. So you put the number and the weeks together. And then she also talked about just combining signs. And we talked about, I was telling them what I did, and I said, well, I work with computers. And I was like, well, how would you do computers? And she was like, Kate, which was the girl that was just hard of hearing, and Karen, which was the facilitator of the event, she was talking like you use computers like that, and then they were talking about other different types of ways to do computers and how there's new words coming all along, and everyone does them differently. But she said, do whatever your teacher tells you that thinks is right. So she said, what you learn here, make sure that you clear with your teacher. So that was kind of interesting that we talked about how everyone has their own signs. There's not really one uniform sign, especially for the new words. And, well, I was really kind of nervous to go there because I was like walking in and I wasn't really for sure how much I was going to be able to remember. And as it comes, I was able to pick up about like 80% of what they were saying because they were signing really fast back and forth, and then I was like, felt like I was at a tennis match watching both hands. And then again, trying to communicate was the hardest part because I had all these words that I wanted to say, and I had to like figure out how to say them in sign language, and then I had to remember how to do the signs, and I was really uncomfortable with I signing the right sign, so that was kind of difficult. But I really, overall, I enjoyed the event. I would really like to actually go back, and maybe once a month or twice a month go back and meet the group, because I felt that we had, even though it was, a very short time, I established more relationships, and I would like to really continue to become more at ease at sign language, learning my sign language and my skills. And for the future, I think that I would like to continue. I think it would be really cool to maybe be an interpreter, to help people who are hard of hearing or deaf, at some event, or, just whatever it needs to be. I think that there needs to be more people that understand sign language and know it, to be able to help those so they don't have the same feeling that I had at that event. I'm sure that when they're trying to figure out how to communicate with the hearing people, they felt the same way that I felt when I was trying to communicate there. But overall, I think it was a great experience, and I enjoyed meeting Karen and Kate and Lynn and Jeff. And although I personally didn't get to meet, all the class from Chafee, it was nice to have other people there that was in the same experience that I was having, with just trying to learn in this new adventure. So it was really great, and I'm kind of glad that we were kind of forced to have to do that, because it really took us out of our comfort zone, and not maybe, but for sure sent us to do something that we probably wouldn't have done unless it had been a part of our criteria. Thank you very much, and I have enjoyed these last couple of semesters.